What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 4, season 5, whichever one you want to call it. Episode 7, 23, 20, whatever you want to call it. So, before we go ahead and just get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't yet subscribed to the channel, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by giving me a big, huge thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode review, it shouldn't be like super duper long because the episode wasn't like a whole lot, but there were some things that we can talk about in this episode. So the episode opens and we see Mel. So Mel lets us know that she's doing a photo shoot, for her company, 7th Avenue. The only thing that I gotta say about that is the makeup was just a little bit ghostly looking and the wig was not the best looking wig. So Stormy is coming down. So congratulations to Stormy. Stormy, talked about the big box stores that she's in, Walmart, Target. Now, I know here in Texas, I haven't saw it, so I'm not saying that it isn't here, but congratulations to her for that. So then they talk about, her and Destiny having a conversation at, when she came down to her warehouse, right? So to sum it all up, we know that she and Destiny, they are not going to be best friends with each other, but they are going to be in a better space with each other because honestly, there was no reason for those two to have any kind of issue with each other. So they're going to be fine right there, right? So then she also tells Mel that she met up with Tiffany. And, Tiffany was telling her the things that she heard from Destiny about what happened at, what was it again? The relaunch. That's what it is. So, yeah. So she told Melody that Tiffany told her that Destiny had said that Mel made a beeline for Miss Wanda. And, Stormy said that she told Tiffany that that didn't happen. That Miss Wanda, tried to hit Mel from behind. Two things can be true, right? Two things are true. Definitely, she did, Miss Wanda definitely did come at her from behind. That is 100% true that Miss Wanda came at her from behind. But Mel did, it ain't like she just went over to Miss Wanda and tried to punch Miss Wanda. But Mel did make a beeline for Miss Wanda when she saw her outside because Mel could have got in her truck and left, but she didn't. So, yeah, Melody made a beeline for Miss Wanda. Like, let's not play that game because, yes, it definitely happened. So, my thing when it comes to Melody is I like Melody, but then at the same time, when it comes to Melody, Melody does play this victim, she only reacts to what people say and do. Sometimes you do things, you throw a rock and hide your hand, Melody. Like, let's not play that game. Like, Melody does throw a rock and hide a hand. So let's leave it at that. So let's move on over to Tiffany, you guys. I'm gonna keep it 1,000% real with you guys. This scene with Tiffany, one the most interested in it because it just, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So Tiffany is talking to this woman who has this eyewear that is geared for black people. Now, y'all know I wear glasses and my glasses fit me perfectly. So I didn't really understand what the woman was talking about when she said that, us as black people, our glasses don't fit us. You get that line across your nose. Do I have a line across my nose? No, I've worn glasses since I was in kindergarten, so I feel like I was at least 5 years old. And I've never got a line across because my glasses always fit my face. We make sure that my glasses fit my face. So I didn't understand what she was talking about, but hey, we support black businesses. So if they tell us who that company was going forward, I'll definitely support them and buy some glasses from them. But other than that, I ain't never heard nothing about, that stuff they were talking about. So then Big Titty Lou comes in, and we're talking about taking out Tiffany's IUD. I could have lived the rest of my life and never heard this story, like, ever. So, yeah. So let's just sum it up. Short story, long story short, Tiffany is gonna take her IUD and they're gonna try for a baby. Good luck to you. I just don't care. So let's pause here and let's move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, this is really what the episode consisted of. You guys remember in last week's episode that Martell was talking about the fact that he wanted to get, all 6 of them together so that way they could, work things out and hash things out and just move forward, right? So we see Marceau and Kimmy and Letitia and Marceau. So they're getting ready and they're getting in the cars and they're driving and they're talking, right? Now, I want to point out one thing that Kimmy said that made a lot of sense. But then when you think about then I think about what Marie said. I'm like, well, there's some truth in what both of them are saying, right? Because at one point, Kimmy said, did your mother, your mama probably, your mama said that sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you, right? So he says that his mother never said that. I'm like, oh, okay. My mama always told me that, especially because my temper, it ain't the best, right? And she would always be like, Jerome, sticks and stones. And she wouldn't necessarily say sticks and stones, like, especially when people say things about her. She would get, because she, like, I would snap off about my mama. So she was like, do they know me? Or if people say something about, if they say something about my mama or my grandmother, and she would literally ask me, well, do they know me? Do they know your big mama? No. Well, if they don't know us, what are you getting so upset about? What are you trying to fight people for behind that? They don't know me, so they can't speak on me. And I was like, you know what? True, right? So, but Maurice did say something, right? He said that, words can hurt. And that is true. Words can hurt, but then you got to know how to, you got to know how to you got to know how to let people say what the hell they want to say and not internalize it. Like, don't let what people say about you negatively affect you. Be like, oh, okay, you want to go there? We can go here, we can go there, or you can easily ignore it. Sometimes it's not easy to ignore what people say, but, don't internalize it, so to speak, right? So Maurice also feels that there are outside forces, outside influences that come into the group and cause a rift in the group. 100% agree. One of the biggest things that comes into this group of friends and causes dissension is social media. Let's keep it real, because everybody pretty much goes live and they want to say this and they want to say that, especially after the episodes go off. Here lately, they haven't done it as much as they've done in previous seasons, right? But most episodes, everybody wants to go live. Melody goes live. Martell goes live. Miss Wanda goes live. Like, I think that's one thing, if they could contain that aspect of them always going live to discuss everything. They go live. They do interviews. They do so much stuff, right? I wish with Love and Marriage Huntsville that they would be more like Real Housewives of Atlanta, Potomac, all that kind of stuff. Now we know that things go on behind the scenes while the show is airing, that they're having their little feuds with each other, right? But they're having like Twitter beefs with one another, but they're not to the point where they are going live after every single episode to discuss, oh, well, what y'all didn't see was da 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 da. They didn't show this, they didn't show that. Me and her sat down and did this, and me and her sat down and she didn't say this and she didn't say that, but this and this and this and that happened, right? They're very reactive on social media, and I think that's one thing that Carlos should look into, is having the cast stop talking about everything on social media, right? And even the as Kimmy said, the ancillary cast members, right? Let's stop them from talking too, i.e. Miss Wanda, i.e. Miss Wanda, We'll talk about somebody else in a minute whose name I would prefer to never say, but we'll get there, right? So Kimmy feels like also when it comes to the group that there are people in the group who can throw jabs, but they can't take a jab. And I think that could be a twofold thing, right? Because I think that could go for both Miss Wanda and for Mel, right? Because Miss Wanda and Mel are notorious for throwing jabs, right? But it feels like neither one of them can take the jab, right? And I'm not saying that they have to, right? Because when somebody says something about you, common, the nature for you is to want to go back, right? But at a certain point in time, you got to be like, you know what? I'm wasting my time. I'm giving up too much energy. I'm wasting my time and I'm giving up too much energy to this situation. So why am I continuously doing this, right? What is the definition of insanity? Like, that's what I feel it is when it comes to Miss Wanda and it comes to Melody. It's insanity. Like, that's my personal opinion. So then we see Tisha. So Tisha is in the car, like I said, she's in the car with Marceau, right? So Tisha is sitting here saying that she doesn't know what caused everything to happen at the relaunch, right? I'm like, Tisha, that's bullshit. And even Marceau said, but you were there. She says, I was there, but I wasn't dare. I was like, dare as in D-A-R-E, dare. So, because Tisha, when they asked the question about what happened, you were trying to repeat what happened, but you didn't have all the facts together, right? So, I want to pause here and I want to move forward. All right, you guys. So after Tisha said that she wasn't there, she calls up Miss Wanda, right? So, Ma, I'm gonna be meeting up with Melody and Martell, and I just want to know, did you ever mention anything about their children? So Miss Wanda says, listen to the words Miss Wanda said, right? So Miss Wanda is saying that she got on live because Melody went on Carlo's show saying, your baby daddy in my DMs. So I just said, well, since you want to talk about baby daddies, why don't you go find your baby daddy? That last baby. She said the last baby. So she didn't say the child. So let's just play the game of semantics, right? Let's just play semantics for just a small second, right? Granted, so she said the last baby. We all know who the last baby is. It's Sugar Mama. So you didn't say her name, but you implied her. Like, Miss Wanda, stop playing me. And then Tisha gonna sit here and try to play us like we foolish. Like, girl, it's a game of semantics. Granted, Martell might have said that, he questioned the paternity of his kids because of the affair. I don't know. I didn't watch it, right? So they get there, they sit down. So at one point, Letitia asks Marcel, like, what do you want to get out of this? He says nothing because he didn't call this meeting. So, child, then they go in there and sit down. She asks him once again, what does he hope to get from this? He doesn't care. Only reason why I feel like Marcel came is because Marcel doesn't want to get fined for not filming, right? So then when Marcel sat there and talking about he's a dangerous man, I was like, sir, who in their right mind is afraid of you? A bra? A girdle? Are those things afraid of you? Like, these are jokes, by the way, you guys. So yeah, that happened. So Kimmy and Maurice showed up, right? And then we also saw Melody and Martell. They were talking as Melody was on her way there, right? So everybody shows up. So I'm going to pause here and we are going to wrap the episode up, you guys. So when Melody and Martell got there, they initially got right into it because Martell said, your mama got to go. And here's my thing. Do I feel like Miss Wanda needs to go? Yes and no, right? I feel like with Miss Wanda, I honestly feel like Miss Wanda says things for shock value sometimes. I feel like sometimes she says things for shock value, but I also feel like she doesn't think before she speaks a lot of times as well. Like I said, she's very reactionary. So a person like Miss Wanda, they just gonna say the first thing that pops into their brain, and that's and that might not be the most intelligent thing at all, which we see that quite often. It is not the most intelligent thing. I'm not saying Miss Wanda is stupid. I'm just saying she doesn't intelligent when she thinks. Her arguments, her responses are not the most intelligent. So Martell is telling, Letitia that he has an issue with the things that Miss Wanda has said. Let's go back to when Miss Wanda was talking about the girl's hair, which I thought that was the most ignorant comment that you can make. Why? These are little black girls. First of all, just because your grandkids have what people call quote unquote good hair, what is good hair these days? Like, what's good hair? Like, cause when people say good hair, y'all talking about these European ways of straightening your hair and putting heat to your hair, putting these products to your hair and damaging your hair. So your hair is technically not good. Your hair is damaged. Now, when people wear, their curls and everything, that's healthy, right? So we're not gonna go into that situation again, but that was one of the most ignorant things that Ms. Wanda has said on this show, right? So then Martell talks about the fact that she questioned the paternity of his child. So teacher said, well, before we got here, I talked to my mom and she said that she never said a child's name. She said it was because, Melody went on Carlos' show and said something about her baby daddy. But your mama, even if your mother didn't mention any one other, Letitia, let's stop playing stupid at this point, because literally at this moment you were playing stupid. And you're not stupid. Obviously, you're not a stupid woman, but you're playing stupid in this particular moment because you're saying that your mom never mentioned Melody's children, but here she is saying, go find your baby daddy. Okay, let's just say she's talking about the baby daddy. But the baby daddy created the child. So it's one of Melody's children. So if one of Melody's children see this and they be like, Mama, what is she talking about, your baby daddy? Like, isn't daddy our daddy? Like, that brings up so many questions that these kids will have to ask their parents. Like, that's just disgusting to me. And I know she's saying that Ms. Wanda is repeating what Martell said about the infidelity and him allegedly, I think Martell was just fucking around with just trying to stick it to Melody at that particular moment. Like, you can't pay me to believe that he wasn't doing that. Martell was just being an asshole in that moment when he was trying to question the paternity of the children, right? So she plays that off, right? So then Tisha tells Mel that, when it comes to her and her mom, you and my mom, y'all go 10 for a tat with each other. And I was like, what, Letitia, you're absolutely correct. Melody says she doesn't go tit for tat with Miss Wanda. I'm like, girl, that's a lie. A lie, don't care who tell it, because you are a tit for tat person. You're definitely tit for tat. Like, let's stop playing this. Like, if Melody would just own the shit that she does, I don't have an issue with Melody, but if Melody would just own the shit she does, Melody would be fine, like 100%. She would be like when I say favorite, I would be like, that's my fave, but she's not my fave. I don't really have a fave on the show. I think if I say I like anybody on this show, it's Kimmy. But Kimmy's not a favorite of mine. I can still call Kimmy out when I think Kimmy is wrong. So yeah. So Melody says that Miss Wanda went on her live and called her all kind of bitches and hoes. I don't watch Miss Wanda's live, so I don't know what Miss Wanda said on her live. I don't keep up with Miss Wanda. The only time I've ever saw Miss Wanda live was when she was on Scotty's channel when Kiki came up. That is the only time I've ever saw Miss Wanda live. And when she was on Scotty's live, I was like, God, this woman is just pure the ignorance. Oh, God, that woman is just So Maurice says that, Melody could have called up Miss Wanda. And here's my thing. I get what Maurice was trying to say, that Melody could have called up Miss Wanda, but the same thing could have been said for Miss Wanda. If Miss Wanda saw Melody on Carlos King's show mentioning her baby daddy, she could have asked for Melody's phone number and called Melody up, but she didn't. So if we're gonna say that Melody could have did this, so could Miss Wanda. Like, let's not play the game. So then Marceau chimes in, and he's talking about the fact that, when it came down to Maurice, when Tiffany said what she said about, Maurice Jr., he talked to her. And Maurice is like, yeah, but I wasn't going to hit Tiffany. He said, "No, what if Lewis had that shot?" He couldn't say nothing because nigga, if Big Titty Lou had that shot, he probably would have hit his ass, right? So so let's segue. So we talked about social media and we talked about how, but Maurice is saying that Miss Wanda, they're saying that Miss Wanda gets rewarded for the things that she says on social media, but so do the rest of you. So Miss Wanda is no different from Melody. She's no different from Martell. She's no different from anybody that goes live on this show. Y'all all Stormy, Destiny, like when all of y'all go live, people who like y'all come to y'all's lives and be in y'all's comments and be in defense of you. So y'all all get some kind of reward from good things that you do on the show and from the negative things you do on the show. Like let's not sit here and play like it ain't, like it's just Miss Wanda, because it's not just Miss Wanda. It is each and every one of you, right? So then they mentioned the one that I just, oh my God, I'm not even finna say his name on this channel because he is the most disgusting of the Scott brothers that I have saw. Oh God, because I know it was Tracy. Tracy, she sent me a video last year of the other brother whose name I'm not gonna say. He went on live with these three or four, I think it was three women, maybe it might have been four women. They were just talking to him, and the way he was so disrespectful to those women, I had to click off of that goddamn live with him. But they're saying that, y'all talking about, and I love the fact that Kimmy said, you talking about the fact that Tisha and Miss Wanda, but your brother, he's disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful. He's upset. The thing that I will say about that brother is he's obsessed. He is, and he's obsessed, and he's just as dumb as Dolphin Mouth is, right? Because he wants. I saw a live of him a few. Now it wasn't this. Yes, it was. It was the same live that I was watching with him with those young ladies. Because he is just as dumb as Dolphin Mouth is, because he feels that they are using his likeness as well. I'm like, what kind of public school did you motherfuckers go to that you guys don't know what likeness is? Because he was talking about that, yeah, they keep using my likeness on their show. They keep. Now, granted, have they brought you up on the show? Absolutely. Had they said your name on the show? More than once. And I wish they would never say it. Anytime they say his name, I wish that they would just like bleep him out as if it's a curse word. Just bleep his name. God, I can't stand seeing that man. And anytime I look at Marceau, I'm just looking at that brother, because him and Marceau look exactly alike. Whew. Yeah, if y'all have never saw him on live, count your blessings, because if y'all think that Marceau is the worst of them brothers, that brother whose name I'm not saying, he's worse. He is terrible. And honestly, you guys, I have to agree with Marceau and Maurice. There is no reeling that man in. There is something wrong with him. Maybe he's an incel. I don't know. But there is something wrong with that brother. Something's wrong with him. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Drop down in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I really gotta figure out what to do with this nose ring, because I don't like y'all seeing up my nose like that. Thumbs up the video. Bye, guys.